the first General Hospital weekly recap I am doing. This video encapsulates October 8th through October 12th. Yay! Oh, hi, I think that's Maverick. It is Maverick. So I just gave them pellets, so they're a little all wound up. We had a lot of fun. We actually played past the praying mantis because Tabasco had a praying mantis on him, and then it went on to Leroy's face, and then Leroy popped it off and it landed on Houdini's chest, and oh my goodness, it was fun. So let's get right to this. I'm excited. So this video, I'm hoping it to be a mix of recap and my feelings on things. So I'm excited. Yay! Come on, Coolaroo. So October 8th was Morgan's Memorial Day that they did. It's the anniversary of his death. Ava goes to his grave where his family isn't yet, and she pretends that this day means anything to her, and to me it just always feels very disingenuous because, well, of her involvement in what happened. And Kiki kicks her out of the cemetery. Optimal Kiki I've waited for forever, and I'm very sad that Haley Aaron is leaving, and I can talk about that more at the end of the video. I'll make a note of it. The Corinthos family meets up to tell stories about Morgan, and they wind up releasing paper lanterns. We finally have a positive, like more than positive, DNA test for Sascha. So Sascha is Nina's daughter, which I'm making peace with, and I've opened my mind to, since with Haley Aaron's exit, we're most likely not going to see a Kiki as Nina's storyline, as sad as that makes me. Sam and Jason are making strides in their relationship, which is exciting. It's taken so long, which, I mean, okay, and to celebrate them making strides, I'm gonna do something I think I'm gonna regret in 2 seconds. Come on, boys, over here. There they all are. Oh yes, come to me, my sons. The PCPD has hit, remember what happened last time? You choked last time. The PCPD has hit a dead end on the Vincent Marino case. They are officially transitioning it to cold case, and the DA is very unhappy about that, as you can imagine. Laura slaps Valentin after a tense conversation that encapsulates Nicholas and stealing Spencer's birthright and all of that mess. Leroy, if you knock this camera down. Hello Houdini. Oh, by the way, rovings from them are going to be available for sale next year. If you see any, oh no, don't get the sweat. Don't get the sweat. Sons, can we not reach over? See, this is why I didn't want to open the pellets. This is exactly why I didn't want to open the pellets, because you guys cannot be trusted with pellets, right, Houdini? Okay. Oh, you got mud on my notebook, boys. Hi, Maverick. Okay. Ava is going to cut Kiki out of her will, and Alexis has some very harsh words for her when it comes to that, because Alexis doesn't believe that you should treat your daughter like that, as the rest of us don't, right, Maverick? Maverick, he's not a fan of Ava. Coolaroo, surprisingly, is a fan of Ava, so we've had a long talk about that. And Ava is plotting to make Kiki a pariah, just like she was a pariah of the town. Good luck with that, because people like Kiki. The DA crashes Sunny and Carly at Morgan's grave, and we learn more about that in the next episode, which is right now. On October 9th, Kim and Drew are talking about entering Oscar into the trial, possibly without his consent, since he doesn't want to spend what he believes are going to be his last weeks or months in a treatment facility, because he doesn't think it's going to do any good anyway. And Oscar hears them speaking about this. But they don't know that Oscar heard them. That's important. Jason and Sam are trying to navigate how they'll move forward in the future, since Alexis did interrupt them, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you see it. Is there anyone here that watches our videos that doesn't want Jason and Sam to get back together? But the DA's father is buried in the same cemetery as Morgan, and kind of very close, as Sunny put it, it's like diagonal this away, although he's very self-absorbed about what that means for him. He's like, so now every time I see Morgan, I'll have to pass the guy I killed. And it's like, Sunny, I love you, but like, you do realize how self-absorbed that sounds, right? Margot does seem to actually get to Sunny with her speech of how many people that he's caused, that this grief that he's feeling. And I don't, let me get this straight, I don't disagree with her. I mean, I love Sunny, but I love him knowing who he is, and I mean that's a part of it. Oscar's really hurting Jocelyn and really being mean to her. Jocelyn goes to see Kim to see how to possibly help Oscar because she knows Oscar's hurting. She just doesn't know why. And I've never been in Oscar's position, so I'm not even gonna pretend to know how I'd react given that circumstance. But he's just being really mean. Oscar is meeting with Alexis to ascertain his rights to see if he can circumvent the treatment. And now we're on to 10-10. Mike is going to look at the day center, which I think is just so great. My grandfather, I think I mentioned this in the last video, he also went to, we don't like calling it like a daycare, we like an adult care center. I don't know what you would call it, but I just know when my grandfather went, he absolutely loved it. He would come back with the stuff that he made for the day. Drew is meeting with Margot, and Margot tells Drew that she has the flash drive. So I guess we're doing this. Sunny and Jason are trying to strategize when it comes to Margot. They decide Carly's plan is possibly the one that they're going to want to pursue, which is basically taking Margot's father off of this pedestal that she's put him on. Because their hope is that maybe if Margot sees that her father wasn't this straight and narrow guy who was wronged by these people who circumvent the law, that she'll stop pursuing this. She'll lose her motivation for pursuing it. We're in the season of legit outside scenes, so the scenery is so beautiful. They shoot in LA. Me and Cassie actually went to LA because of General Hospital, although we did not do what we planned to do when we got there. We jam-packed everything in a week. I don't know if you know, I put some of the videos, we weren't making videos yet. Actually, that trip is what inspired the YouTube channel, but that was back in 2011 during the Franco storyline at the Museum of Modern Art that we were planning to go to, but we didn't get a chance to. But oh my goodness, that was such a good trip. So it is so beautiful out there. Oscar's new plan to make Jocelyn hate him forever is to post a picture of him together with another girl that he actually sent to Cameron, and then Cameron pretended he didn't want to show it to Jocelyn, and then he did, because Cameron and Oscar, they're in this together in the sense that Oscar wants Cameron to help facilitate Jocelyn letting him go forever, but Cameron doesn't think that this is right, because Cameron's like, look, she's my friend, I've known her forever, and you're hurting her. You see the nose, the Tabasco nose, and it's not right that you're hurting her, and I absolutely agree with him on that. Cameron has agreed to one more thing, and then if Jocelyn still won't let Oscar go, he's insisting that Oscar tell her the truth. And this is the one more thing, this Oscar with another girl, which just, Oscar thinks if Jocelyn hates him before he dies, that it'll be easier for her to accept that he's died. But honestly, I think it's the exact opposite, because you're losing that precious time you would have had with that person, and then the last, like, what if she does wind up hating him? Then she's gonna have to live with the fact that she hated him when he died. Like, and that's going to be a lot more painful than I loved him when he died. And like, so I think overall it's, but again, I've never been in Oscar's position, and I can't pretend to know how I'd react. So like, I'm coming at this with no judgment. It's just like, I wish he'd talk to people more. Carly tells Sunny and Jason about Margot meeting with Drew, and they're like, well, what do Drew and Margot have to talk about? And they don't realize that it's actually a contentious conversation. And now we're on October 11th. Kiki and Griffin are unapologetically being together. Ava is either spying on them or just happens to be in the park and see them together, which, like, we'll bring the alpacas back. The alpacas, excuse me, hi. Okay, we don't eat out of the container because then we choke, and choking is bad for little alpacas. Ow! See, this is what I mean. If you do not spit on me. Excuse me. Yep. Tabasco. Why did I know that you would be the one who would potentially knock it down? Why do you have a leaf on your head? Margot shows Drew that she has proof that she has the flash drive. Needless to say, he's not happy. Right, Cool Everyone? Not happy at all. I'm Maverick. I'm Maverick. She wants to trade the flash drive for information that will put Sunny away, and he's like, no. And he's like, is this blackmail? And she's like, no, it's a trade. And it's like, is it though? Is it? Because there's a definite power dynamic at work here. Felicia is surprised with how cordial Maxie and Peter are. And I think they're setting up something between Maxie and Peter, but we'll see. How would you feel about that? Honestly, their chemistry is so great that, like, I'm not against it, but at the same time, like, character-wise, I'm like, but, like, Ryan, or Kevin, Ryan. Oh, by the way, I've been watching the Ryan Chamberlain storyline. If you look up in YouTube, Ryan Chamberlain, GH, someone put together like this whole playlist. There's actually 2 playlists. It kind of jumps around a little, so some parts were hard to follow, but like I got the gist of it. And it's kind of informed so much of me watching the show. So if you're interested, I'll like kind of put together some of my thoughts and feelings with the Ryan Chamberlain storyline, and then how it relates to how I feel about this new iteration of the Ryan Chamberlain storyline. Did I say Ryan Chamberlain storyline enough? Is that going to be like the drinking game for this video? I think it is. So Ryan's acting strange, especially when it comes to Felicia, which, oof, so informed about that now. Laura feels pushed aside, can't imagine why. Oh, it's because he's literally pushing her aside. Kevin doesn't support Felicia going away with Mac to escape the memories of Brian. Nina is going to meet with Sascha in the park. Sascha arrives. It's a little awkward at first, but friendly, and then they really start bonding. Lulu and Dante are on the phone, and it's not good. He's not happy that she's working with Peter again, and she says she's just trying to hold everything together. Like, she has the kids, she has her job, she has to have a job. She's supporting Leroy. She's not supporting Leroy, she's supporting the 2 kids. Then Peter comes in, she gets off the phone, and she's kind of embarrassed because she feels like she was being unprofessional, because she's really emotional. I don't blame her. It was an intense conversation. And they talk about work, but eventually Lulu breaks down about how much she misses Dante and relied on him, and he's her best friend. And Peter invites her to go to a film festival with him to get some adult time, adult conversation, and just kind of let loose a little bit. Like, you know, right now she's the adult in her life, and just to kind of take a breath. And she agrees, and Maxie overhears this conversation and is like, I wouldn't say she's upset, but I don't know if she's bothered because Peter's giving his attention to someone else, or she thinks Peter's trying to get in between Lulu and Dante, or if she has feelings for him and is like, Scott and Ava talk briefly, and Scott suggests that Ava pushing so hard is pushing Griffin and Kiki together, which, I mean, obviously she's not responsible for what they do 100%. They're both adults, right, Leroy? Come here. I kissed you. I kissed you, Leroy. They're both adults, but I mean, she's definitely not helping the situation. Ryan encourages Ava to go after Kiki. Kill her? Ava laughs it off. Of course she would never. So ridiculous. And she's like, oh, you've really helped me see that I would never do anything like that to my daughter. And we'll put a pin in that and we'll come back to it in a second. And now 10:12. So the last day, Friday, Nina and Sascha have a drink, and Nina brings up the necklace. Sascha says she's never seen a necklace like that. Nina accidentally insults her mother, Sasha's mother, when Sascha says she's never seen it, because Nina's like, oh, well, your mother, she didn't respect you enough to tell you the truth. And it's like thin ice, the thinnest, right? Can I have another kiss? No? Okay. Nina invites Sascha to Paris, and Sasha's like, I don't know, like that's a little soon, getting a little ahead of herself. And Sascha says, look, I mostly just wanted closure. I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship, which really took the wind out of Nina's sails. And Nina starts panicking at the notion of Sascha not wanting to be in her life. So she makes a lot more missteps. She straight up calls Sascha's mom a liar. And Sascha is like leaving. And to Sascha's credit, after Nina apologizes and just tries to explain just her feelings, Sascha does agree to meet for breakfast. And I think that is extremely gracious based on the stuff that Nina said about her mother. Nina confides in Valentin. She's disappointed in herself for how she's handling the Sascha situation. Nell's trial starts. I didn't think we were going to see Nell again, so that's a fun surprise. Honestly, I I don't mind her as much when she's not getting one over on Carly. And honestly, just an aspect of that storyline was a little bit annoying because I think we all felt that Carly should have seen through a lot more than she did. Like, it just didn't feel very authentic to Carly's character. Carly and Michael are going to testify at Nell's trial, clearly against her. And after it's clear that Michael is ready to write her off, she tries to leverage information. Because she's like, oh, Michael, well, you wouldn't be here if you didn't care about me. And Michael's like, actually, I was subpoenaed. I have to be here. And that's when Nell starts getting a little panicky. Panic is a big theme this week, apparently. Brad shows up with Wiley, and Nell sees him. And then Carly and Michael see Nell see him. And it's like, why you look at Wiley so intensely now? So that'll be something that's dealt with this week, I think. Valerie is officially a detective, so she passed her exam, I think 2 weeks ago, but it was like the celebration with Chase and Jordan, so I'm happy for her. I'm really, since like her and Lulu have like put aside their issues, I'm really trying to put aside her affair with Dante, and they even address it because Jordan apologizes for how she handled that. Even though it was like 3-ish years ago, the culture around it was so different than it is now. We've definitely made huge strides when it comes to situations such as those. So I am glad that they kind of addressed it and how she should have handled it differently, because I mean, and I think maybe I was a little guilty of it too. Like, so much of the blame went on Valerie when like Dante was equally as responsible, if not a little more in the professional sense, because he was her superior at the time. Although Valerie makes it clear that never played into it at all. But a part of me just so wishes they never went there, because like, to me, I love Dante and Lulu so much. I especially love Dante. I am heartbroken that he's off the show, although Dominic Zambronia has said he's open to recurring status, which makes me so happy because I would love to see him as another commissioner. Wouldn't you, Leroy? Yes, Leroy would too. But like, it just kind of permanently stained like my feelings. It's with kind of the whole, everyone involved, you know, not just Valerie, although like it wasn't a great way to bring her onto the canvas. First impressions are a lot, and that was really our first impression of her, was that she was someone who would go after her cousin's husband, which I think if they were to introduce her now, they wouldn't have pursued a storyline like that. So I'm really trying my hardest to put that aside, almost forget it ever happened. Lulu has, Dante had, like, the show's moving past it, so I want to move past it. I mean, it stained Dante too for me, because he was someone who promised he never hurt Lulu, and then there he is, like, and it was kind of disjointedly written too, like, oh, he thought she was having an affair, so he did that without having any proof. Like, it just kind of felt very disingenuous to his character. But that was a few years ago, so I think that's all I'll say on that. I haven't watched Forrest Gump lately, but I feel like I have because I'm quoting him a lot. And kind of like I don't know if they're setting this up for something though, so I figured I'd mention it. Aiden is hiding papers from his teacher, from Elizabeth. The teacher wants to have a meeting with her, and we don't know why. I have an alpaca notebook my mom got for me, so I figured it's the perfect thing to do my GH notes in. Alright, Haley, Erin leaving the show. Makes me very sad. I actually missed the rumor mill earlier in the year, and so it's kind of coming at me like, just like Dante's. Like, I heard there was rumblings, and I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. And then it's like, and I'm like, no. That's exactly how that went. So there is a big rumor, just a rumor, right now, that Ryan is going to kill Kiki. And I personally, why do you have straw in your face? I personally hope to the General Hospital gods, aka the writers, that this is not true. I really hope they recast Kiki, or if they do want to have something where Ryan hurts her, maybe put her in a coma, then for a recast, and she can come out of the coma once he's already found out, so it wouldn't be like she's revealing him. So I really hope that they don't kill Kiki off, because she is such a great character with so many ties, and it, like, they've built her up so much, and she's gone through so much. I'm not totally opposed to them doing a storyline where she gets hurt, possibly in a coma, because then they could still do their whodunit, because they have Ava, they have Bench, like they have a lot of people that it could be a really compelling whodunit, and I think that would also be an interesting storyline. But either way, Haley Aaron is leaving for the spinoff of Pretty Little Liars, and I wish her all the luck in the world. She has done so much for the show, and she made Kiki her own character, because when Kristen Alderson left, I know we were all like, will it work with someone else? And she definitely made it work with someone else. And how are you feeling about the Ryan Chamberlain storyline? Because it does generate interest in the past storylines. Like, I'm looking up not only the Ryan Chamberlain storyline, but I'm like, hey, let me see where this character started out, or where this character was I was watching it 10 years ago, where this character was 20 years ago. What are your thoughts on Haley Aaron's exit, and would you want a recast, a straight up murder, or just an attack where she does live through it? Why do you have straw on your head? Why does everyone have straw on their head? What was I putting a pin in? Oh, I was putting a pin in that. Alright, well, I think that's all I got for the day. I will send you to our outro that I filmed last time. But thank you so much for watching, and also this is new. I'm definitely going to be tweaking it. If you want more detail, if you want less, like what would you want from a video such as this, I'm open to any and all suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, and Leroy says bye. Do you want one more kiss? Do you want one more kiss before we go? No kisses? Okay, no kisses. What you gonna do? Alright, bye. Say bye.